What's going on, everyone? It's Justin here, and welcome to another Cool Tech episode. This series is intended to bring you all the cutting-edge tech, whether it is the brand new laptops, smartphones, home technology, or also just like cool gadgets that we've curated, and bring it all together into one video for all of you tech lovers to learn about and enjoy. I know I haven't done this series for quite a few months now, but there is so many products for many videos to come, and a lot of these products I feel like are ones that a lot of people just don't really know about, while others are ones you might have heard of, and we've gotten the office to test out for you. So as always, if you guys like to win a product from this video, just make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, and also follow me over on Instagram at justin.tse, and leave a comment down below with your Instagram username, and I'll be picking a winner from that comment section when this video hits 3,000 likes. So as always, all the products that we mentioned are going to be in the description section below, but I think this one is a really cool episode just because of the large variety, and I'm really excited to bring this series back because there is just so many products that come in that we can't even keep track of. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the first one. So because it is the summer right now and the weather's getting better, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be going outside and are looking for a great Bluetooth speaker. And you guys have seen the channel. One of my favorite products that I've featured over and over again have been from Sonos. Whether it's a Sonos 1, the Sonos 3, the Sonos Aarke, every single Sonos product is around the house. And traditionally they are known to be a home speaker company, but in the past few years especially, I've seen them kind of shift over to creating products that are also somewhat portable. The Move was like their first move towards that, and it was sort of like a hybrid item. It was still very much like a home docked speaker that was pretty heavy if you want to bring on the go, but this right here is a dedicated portable speaker, and as you can see, it is really small. It comes in at a price of $169, which I think is like a little bit on like the premium price end for a speaker of this size, but their sound technology and their ecosystem is really good, and it uses both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth depending on how you want to connect to it. It's also available in the color of white or black, but just in terms of a speaker itself, there are a few things that I like about it and a few things that I feel like they could have done better. The first thing is that the sound quality alone is really good. The connectivity is also there, and if you just want like a solid speaker that has a decent amount of volume but great quality, then this definitely does live up to the Sonos name. The thing about it though is that it doesn't have like 360 characteristics that like the UE might have, where depending on how you put it, it doesn't really matter. The sound kind of comes out everywhere. It is very much like one directional on the front here, and it does have like soft feet that allow it to sit like this, but as you can see, you do have to kind of have it positioned towards the direction that you want the sound to amplify. There is buttons on the top that allow you to control it, and also the voice assistant, but just as like a solid speaker, if you're a huge fan of Sonos products, then I do feel like this is definitely one that is worth considering. So as you guys can probably tell, I love home theaters, and that has been a huge focus of the Office Loft series. And with the OLED TV and everything, one thing that we're definitely missing is good sound. So this right here is the Bose 700 soundbar. And I've personally been a huge fan of soundbars over the years because they're both compact, but they've also gotten so good that they're able to give you a nice and immersive experience with just a singular speaker setup. It's got all the elements on the inside, the optimization, the room tuning and everything, and Bose is obviously a pioneer in that audio industry. So with this soundbar, not only does it give you great sound quality when it comes to watching sports, which I absolutely love, Formula 1 and hockey, perfect time for the playoffs, but at the same time, if you're watching movies and TV shows as well, it gives you a nice immersive experience through dialogue and also the sound effects. It also has the speakers that are positioned all the way around and even on the side, so it's able to like bounce off the wall and give you good acoustics and a nice spatial feeling. I find that the highs and the mids are very nicely pronounced, and in this case, I actually just have the soundbar itself, but they also make a proprietary subwoofer that is able to take everything to the next level. When it comes to the design though, that is another reason why I chose this for the living room. It's because it's just so minimal and it's very low profile and like a flat slab of tempered glass on the top that all looks really good, because a lot of soundbars out there are large, they might be a little bit round, and they take up a ton of space, but in this case you can have it sit underneath your TV or just below the stand, and even on a low profile TV like this Sony OLED, it just looks really nicely blended in and stays out of the way while making the sound quality so much better. I also like the fact that it can also very casually listen to music by streaming Spotify and also Apple AirPlay 2, because it does have the support for all that through Bluetooth and also Wi-Fi. So if you're not watching TV and you just want to play some music in like the living room, then you can do that really easily. So yeah, this is the top end from Bose when it comes to their soundbars. It's a 700 series, and generally speaking, sound quality is good, design is great, external support for different different streaming platforms are also really nice as well. And if you're looking for a solid soundbar, this is definitely one that is worth checking out. It comes in black and white, which looks super sharp as well. And they also have a few different models, including the 500 and the 300 if you're looking for something that is smaller or lower priced. What takes the cake for the craziest thing that we got to check out recently though is the Hisense L5F laser TV, and it's 120 inches. So I've seen laser TV videos around and I've always wanted one, but I just didn't really have the space or the setting that made sense for it. So when I was building this office, I figured one thing that I really wanted to check out one day was a laser TV. Even though I absolutely love my OLED TV and still plan to keep it, this right here checks off all the boxes of like the ultimate home theater experience for your living room. So because this is a short throw projector, you just have to put it about a foot away from the wall and it will project at its maximum size. You can adjust it a little bit to make it a little bit bigger or smaller, but in this case, I was able to fit the entire 120-inch image on my office wall. It does project in a 4K resolution, so it's pretty sharp, and it does have HDR10 compatibility, and I was actually surprised by just how good the colors look. The contrast and everything is there, and in terms of its actual brightness, it is 2700 lumens, and I would say it definitely looks much better at night, but it still can work in the daytime. But at the end of the day, I would say you get the most out of a short throw projector or laser TV experience in a darker setting. Just having this in the office though to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs or Formula 1, it literally felt like I had a mini IMAX in my office, and being able to walk around and maybe even look from upstairs, it is absolutely huge in terms of the projection size. It also has a 30-watt speaker that is built in, which actually sounds pretty decent, but I think what I was most excited about is just how good the video quality looked and the image that it was able to project. It does have Android TV that is built in, so you have all of your different apps that you want to download. You can access obviously Netflix, Prime, your streaming services in general, and actually my OLED TV is also on Android TV. Even though I have heard some complaints about it here and there, I've actually had a pretty good experience with it so far. But as you probably tell, I really like this laser TV. It looks incredible in the office, and it's kind of what I dreamed of when I originally was planning the whole living room. I'm not sponsored by it or anything, but I think it's a good product. And if you're looking to have the ultimate home theater experience and you have the space for it, this is definitely one to consider because a 10-foot diagonal screen is incredible. So this right here is the Dyson V15 Detect Vacuum, and we got this a couple weeks ago, and this right here is their flagship model for 2021, and it has all of their latest and greatest features packed in. So obviously we knew Dyson's cordless vacuums have dominated the market. They're simply the best ones out there, and when it comes to the battery life, you get an hour of runtime, and you also have a new feature for this year, which is the laser in the front. And what this is able to do is, through an angled laser, is able to show you areas where there's particles of dust that you may not have seen with the naked eye, just to make sure you've got every single spot. Beyond that, there's also an acoustic sensor that will actually sense how large the particles are and adjust the power of the suction accordingly depending on what it sees. So it's essentially a very smart vacuum, and if you're looking for a product to use for many years to come, then this is one that has all of their features in one, and I overall think it is a great tool to have, and it actually makes the cleaning process somewhat fun. So the next product is one that is really important because it is associated to sleep, and there's a large tech side behind it as well. So I want to give a huge thanks to the sponsor of this video, Helix, and their custom mattress. So I've actually been a user of Helix products since 2017, and I absolutely love them. But this right here is their current latest lineup of mattresses, and it consists of the standard mattress and also the Luxe. What's great about Helix is that you can go on their website and fill out all of your sleep preferences, the way you sleep, all the types of details that could be associated with finding the perfect mattress. And at the end of the quiz, it will actually show you the recommended mattress. So in my case, it was actually the Dusk, and they have the standard model, which is just called the Dusk, and also the Dusk Luxe. So here I've got this deluxe model. The Luxe upgrade model features zone lumbar support for enhanced contouring, a premium quilted pillow top with an ultra breathable tinsel cover, and it's also 2 inches taller than their standard mattresses. They also have a nice little promo where they give you a set of dream pillows for free. And they also have another accessory, which is the ultra cool pad, which in the summer right now, if you live in a place that is really hot and you find that you get really sweaty at night, then this is a pad that goes on top of the mattress that does a really good job of regulating heat. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out for yourself, just go to helixsleep.com/Justin for up to $200 off your order. And the best part about all this is that they actually have a 100-night sleep trial. So if you decide that you don't like it, they'll actually come and pick it up for free and give you a full refund. Another audio product that I also checked out recently is the Beats Studio Buds. And if you guys don't know already, it is owned by Apple, and they have been having a lot of products that feature Apple H1 and W1 chips. But what is unique about the Beats Studio Buds is that it also has like a dual native ecosystem setup where it doesn't have an Apple dedicated chip, but it gives you this seamless pairing experience on both an iPhone and also Android device. And I did go ahead and do a full review of this, so if you guys want to go ahead and check that out, I'm going to drop a link down below. But it is a product that I feel like is really nice in terms of where it fits in the whole lineup of a ton of wireless earbuds on the market right now. It comes in at a price of $150, which is $100 less than the Apple AirPods Pro and right around the price of the Apple AirPods 2. But not only does it have decent sound quality and good build quality, but it also has an IPX4 rating for if you want to take it on a workout or in extreme weather. And on top of that, it also has active noise cancellation as well, with the ability to go from noise canceling to transparency mode or just having it off altogether. I will say the microphone quality and also the active noise cancellation is not exactly that good, but in terms of sound quality alone and the characteristic of Beats by having good bass and just a generally nice designed earbud that is well put together and very comfortable, this does check all the boxes. And if you're looking for something at $150 that is well-rounded, then this is definitely one that I can recommend. I think it just looks really cool, especially in this red one here, but it also comes in black and white. Another feature that it is also missing though is wireless charging. And for some people, you might really appreciate that, whereas for others, you won't really care at all, but it does charge via USB Type-C. So the next piece of tech is definitely a little bit strange, but because the series is called Cool Tech, there's no boundaries of just anything that is related to technology. And this right here is a Cybertruck model from Hot Wheels. So I actually ordered this about a year ago at least, and I believe I paid like $400 for it, which was quite a bit of money. And after a whole year of no information at all, it finally just like showed up, and I was originally gonna like return it, but then I went on eBay and realized it was worth over $1,000. So I guess it's not the worst thing to have until I actually crashed it, because I do not know how to drive an RC car. But this right here is a 1 to 10 scale model of the Cybertruck, and it actually looks pretty realistic in all the details, and they even included the glass break sticker as well, which is pretty funny. All the tires and everything, you could literally drive this around if you know how to drive these RC cars, but yeah, it's actually much harder to control than you might think. I tried to, it started going crazy and all that. Also forgot to put the bumper guard on the first time. But other details that are also noticed is that it does have the light on the front and the back. You can even have the trailer hitch stowed down like that. And there's even a cover for the back as well. As someone who's personally a pretty big fan of the way the Cybertruck looks, and I definitely plan to check it out when it does actually start delivering. I don't know when that's gonna be. And for any like Tesla lover out there, this is definitely a cool collectible. And as I've said, it's actually worth more than I paid for it before I crashed it. So I thought I'd just show it anyways. But yeah, nothing much to say about this. So this right here is the Microsoft Surface Laptop 4, and it came out a couple months ago, and at first I was like, well, it comes in the black color, it looks really, really nice, and we've always known Microsoft products to have like great design, really nice build quality, and also great versatility as well. And from the hardware standpoint, they've always done an incredible job. But what's new about this here is that it actually comes in an AMD Ryzen option, and this right here is the one with the AMD Ryzen 7 chip with 16 gigs of RAM and also 512 gigs of storage. And I've got to say, I was really surprised by just how big the improvement is in terms of performance when it comes to just the CPU, the GPU, and also the battery life overall. The Surface laptop line specifically has never really been known for like heavy production work, but more so on the productivity side and also general admin, but also a really good computer for students. But this right here, I would say after doing some tests in like light video editing in 1080p and stuff, I was actually impressed by how well it was able to handle overall. And that just shows how much more power the AMD Ryzen chip has in comparison to the Intel offerings. The one that I have in front of me is the 15-inch model, but it also comes in a 13-inch one as well. But I do think this is a really solid Windows computer, and I think it's going to be the one that I go and use as my go-to Windows machine. And the only complaints that I have about it is that it doesn't really have that many ports, and it also doesn't have Thunderbolt support. And as someone who has a lot of fast storage and is transferring things like back and forth between the Mac and also Windows computers, I would have liked if it had like Thunderbolt or just like a few additionals. But other than that, I think the battery life is really, really impressive. The performance is a huge improvement, and the hardware itself, as always, is beautiful. And I love this matte black option right here. So this right here is a really cool gadget that I came across on Uncrate, and if you like sparkling water, then it's able to make it fresh in just about 10 seconds. And it is from a company called Aarke, and it comes in a lot of really cool finishes. So the first thing that really drew my attention is just how good it looks. They have it in like a whole range of colors. There's also the gold, the silver, the matte black looks really good, and it has like a bit of a sandstone finish as well. So I think it just like looks simple, looks really clean as well. And in the kitchen, it doesn't have like any wires sticking out of it. It actually uses the same carbonation module that something like the SodaStream uses, so it is pretty cross-compatible depending on where you live and which types of canisters you're able to get. To go ahead and use it, it is super easy. You stick the canister in through the bottom, and it also has like this little grill here. The build quality and everything is incredible, but you use this included bottle and you can put water in it and you can cool it if you would like. But when it's time to go ahead and make it, screw it in like so. So after you have your bottle attached, just pull this lever down. And once it makes that sound, the sparkling water is ready to go, and just go ahead and unscrew it from there. So after you unscrew it, it is all ready to go and you can just drink it as is. But it's a very simple product that I feel like in an industry where people are really into the sparkling water stuff, this is a great kitchen gadget to have. Another great piece of tech that came out in the last couple months is the OnePlus 9 lineup, and specifically the 9 Pro has been one of my favorite Android phones, and OnePlus has kind of been my go-to over the years just because it has a clean software experience, pretty good battery life. This right here is a phone that has a 6.7-inch display that is 120 Hz, but what I really like about it is that it has good colors. They're not only vibrant but also accurate at the same time, and I think OnePlus finds a really good balance when it comes to that aspect. Oxygen OS has always been one of my favorites because it is really clean and gives a really close to stock Android experience, super fast and responsive, but it also has some elements that I think are actually useful, and I just like the way that everything is laid out and located. It is also powered by a Snapdragon 888 processor, so it's a top end at the moment. You get the best CPU and GPU power, so any tasks that you throw at it, it's going to be able to handle. The camera, on the other hand, is one in collaboration with Hasselblad, which is kind of interesting, and you've seen a lot of smartphone manufacturers team up with like a big company, whether it is Zeiss, Leica, and also Hasselblad, and these are all very legendary cameras that have great optics and also color rendition. And I know a lot of times it is just like a marketing gimmick, and the main camera on here is a Sony IMX 789 sensor that is 48 megapixels at an f1.8 aperture. The secondary camera is a 50 megapixel ultra-wide that is a 14mm field of view at an f2.2 aperture, and the telephoto is 8 megapixels. There's also a mono camera as well, so for this smartphone, you have a total of 4 cameras. And I've got to say the main camera on the ultra-wide is really good, and usually the ultra-wide is the one where companies seem to lack quite a bit on from my experiences, and in this case, those 2 cameras are very solid. The other 2 maybe aren't as good, but as you can see here, it is like a very well-rounded phone that caps it off with a 4500 milliamp hour battery. But I think the reason why I keep going back to OnePlus is just because of the nice display and the software experience that just all feels very fluid. So this right here is the iMac M1 for 2021 that came out at Apple's spring event. And the screen is a 24-inch size, and it's really meant to replace the 21.5-inch iMac and fit in anywhere around the house. So you can probably tell that this right here is in my dining room, and it is literally where I have it. It just looks that good. And if you didn't know already, it comes in 7 different colors, and they include yellow, orange, red, blue, green, purple, and also silver. And this is the one that Apple sent over in the blue, which is probably like my favorite actual color. But if I was to like choose specifically which one I wanted, I ended up going with a silver one just because I'm a bit boring and I just feel like it's more like minimal and matches the style of the house a bit more. But aside from the fact that it is so thin and uniform and it just looks good and almost looks like a large iPad in a way, it actually performs very well. The M1 processor inside is exactly what you have in the MacBooks that came out last year as well as the Mac Mini, and it is actually good enough to the point where we do a ton of our video editing specifically on the M1 iMac. And that just gives me a lot of excitement for the Pro line that is coming out, but I know that this computer is not exactly made for the Pro user, but instead for people who are using it for school or for like work from home, because a lot of the focus in the design is to have it look like very fun and be able to fit in anywhere, but they've also focused a lot on the camera technology and the microphone with the ISP and 1080p webcam that actually looks really good for conference calls, even in a setting like this. You can probably tell there's like a ton of windows around me, so even when like it's super bright out and all that, my face is actually still very well exposed on the built-in webcam. The speakers sound good, the display looks good, and it all comes in at a starting price of $12.99, but I do think people should spend the extra money at $14.99 to get the extra ports. You get the gigabit Ethernet as well, and also the additional fan and slightly faster processor because it is an 8-core GPU and 8-core CPU compared to a 7-core GPU and an 8-core CPU. So I do feel like it is worth spending a little bit more money in that aspect because you are getting overall a very good value. And of course, for anyone who like really likes the matching accessories, it also comes with that too. So this is the blue one right here. It all goes really nicely together. And I think after seeing it in person, if I had to choose a color, I think silver is my top choice, blue is my second favorite, and yellow actually looks pretty sharp as well, but it's definitely not my favorite color. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching this cool tech episode, and make sure you let me know down in the comment section below any cool things that we should check out, and I'll see you all in the next one.